How are
I'm good.
you?
How are you?
Good, good. I'm well, thank you. This is Jemella, people. Do you want to introduce yourself? Let the people know who you are.
Yes, I am Jemella. I am a portrait and wedding photographer, and I am also the founder of UKBFTOG.
Amazing, amazing. Hopefully you guys have had an opportunity to have a look at Jemella's profiles and a little bit about Jemella, and you're here today basically to share with us your journey of becoming an entrepreneur. So thank you for joining us. We're really looking forward to the gems you're going to drop today.
No worries.
Where should we start? Should we start at the beginning? So take us back. So Mellz photography.
Mm-hmm.
How was it birthed?
It was. I've actually been doing Mellz photography for longer than when I actually officially registered my company. So I would say, oh gosh, I was probably about 19, 20.
Okay.
I would actually say, yeah. About 19, 20. Was it? Loved the camera, picked it up, was shooting and whatnot. Yeah, and just created my name really.
Okay.
So yeah.
And was that always a passion of yours? So photography, is that something where you always at that friend like, wait, hold on, that's a nice snap. Let me get a picture. Like, were you always into photography?
Yeah, I think it's my mum's fault. She always had a video camera. She always had a a 35mm camera, and I had mine as well. So it's kind of like seeing my mum do it and seeing what photography actually does, and like seeing all her prints and everything. It kind of made me have a love for it. So when I was in year 11, I saved my money to get my first digital camera to be able to like photograph the last day of school, and it's literally just been on my hip. Like I took my camera to college, like literally everywhere I went, that camera went with me.
I was with you. And that's dedication. I mean, if you're year 11, you're about 15, 16, and you put your money down to get your camera, so you've always been a hustler, an entrepreneur at heart. We love that.
Yeah.
We love that. So how did we go from, so you were about 19 when you fell in love with photography, so to speak, and how did we go into, usually at the age of 19, you're working in retail or something of that kind. Did you start in a job and then transition into registering your company, or was that just something you went into? How was the transitional period for you?
Well, yeah, like I did the retail. I worked in shoe stores. I was a receptionist at estate agents. I did all of that. Even I think in college, I was even working 2 jobs and going to college at the same time. Okay. So I did all of that. Once I kind of graduated from university, again, I was still doing photography at the same time, teaching as well as shooting events, portraits and stuff. And then when I graduated, I tried to get jobs in the photography industry, in the photography studios, and I was unsuccessful. And then I was like, okay, hold on a second. Why am I forcing myself to go and work for someone else when technically I've been doing it already?
You've got the skills, yeah.
So I was just like, I might as well just start. What's the point? Like, I'm living at home, living at my mum's. I can do that, no problem. But then I went from there.
It was a side hustle for you, and then you were able to then graduate into full-time photography, relying on your own bookings and things like that. So what was it like for you in terms of knowing that when you were working in retail, for example, you had your paycheck coming in on a certain day and you had that reliable income? And what was that jump like for you? You know, Steve Harvey says, you know, everybody got to jump.
You got to jump.
What was the jump like for you?
It's scary, and I feel like I'm still jumping. Literally, because it's never ending, because you're constantly growing, and if you don't work, you don't get paid. Do you know what I mean? Like when I first started, I don't even really think I thought about it as a business either. It was, I'm doing it, and some way, somehow, I've got to register this to make it legal, so that I don't get in trouble by the tax man. Like, that was my thought process. I didn't really think about the business side of it, and because at that time when I started, I never had no responsibilities. It was okay, whatever money I made, oh yeah, that's cool. Oh wow, someone paid me to do this job. So it kind of followed like that at first when it comes to like financially. And then it came to a stage where I got I was part of a photo shoot with a company called Nieces Jewels, and it was all about girl boss, being a girl boss. And I was like, oh snap, I am a boss. Oh snap, I run my own business. Oh, I didn't even see myself as a business owner, even though I've been doing my tax return and all this kind of stuff. There was that barrier.
You didn't give yourself your flowers to say, actually, I'm doing this. I am an entrepreneur, which is, it's almost, would you say that's a little bit of imposter syndrome? Do you think you were not giving yourself enough credit?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how
definitely
did you overcome that?
It was taking ownership. And being like, yes, I am. And I always used to be like, I'm just a photographer. I was like, no, I am the photographer. I'm not just any person. Like, I am the photographer. It was that ownership and speaking that power over myself of who I am as a person, and like, I'm beautiful and I'm worthy. So why should I have anything less?
That's a word. That is a word. And I find that I think it's because you sometimes wait for other people's validation before you give yourself your validation. So you're like, okay, this is what I'm doing. And even if you think you're doing an okay job, it's like, until I've had 10, 20, 30 people say, oh, you're killing it, then you start to think, oh, I'm killing it, instead of being like, hey, I'm great. That's why I love like DJ Khaled. Nobody doesn't have to tell DJ Khaled he's anything for him to say, I'm special cloth, I'm the best, this is what I do. And I think that's a really good lesson, that actually you need to be your own cheerleader, and people buy into what you're selling. So if you're timid, like, I do photography, if you ever need, or listen, I'm a born photographer, hit my website, look at my pictures. This is
like you have to sell yourself. You have to speak highly of yourself. People can smell the doubt in you, like, straight away.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you will get clients who will try and, you say, okay, this is how much it costs, this is the service I provide, and they'll try and switch it into their own service. And you have to be able to take that control back and be like, no, this is what I provide.
Yes.
This is our process. Is this for you or not?
Or not.
And then you just have to go from there, rather than make them switch everything for you, and then you're now not even delivering what you actually want and your purpose. So then it's all backwards.
Sorry, not to cut you. How did you get to a stage where you were able to feel confident enough to combat almost what a client is trying to direct you towards? So if you're offering a service for a certain price, and this is a service I'm offering and this is what it costs, especially in the early days, sometimes you might have a client who's, oh, can I get 20% off or 25% off? And you almost want the money because it's early days, you're still building your brand, but then you don't want to dilute the value of your brand. So how did you get to a point where you were able to actually confidently just say, listen, this is what I'm offering, and if it's not for you, we can't work together? What was that like for you?
I mastered my craft and got myself to a level that I know that if I tell you that my service, my session fee is just 400 or whatever it's going to be, I can provide. I know that you're not going to turn around and say, was that even worth it? I'm going to know for sure and believe in myself. With every single book, I still get anxious and think, oh, is it going to go well? And I just pray over it.
Yeah, amen.
Just pray over it. Let's go. I've been studying this for years. I've been trying to master my craft for years. God didn't take me this far to pull me back. So let me just go. I know what I'm doing. Why am I putting that doubt in myself and that fear? I still have bits of fear, of course. That's just, you know what I mean? It's unfortunately, but
how would you say, whilst we're on the topic of the big man himself, God, his promise and your purpose, how has that influenced your journey so far? That you're believing that actually this is what God sent me here to do, or I know that I'm anointed to do this, and I know that whatever I go ahead to do, he's got my back. How has that helped you with maybe certain setbacks you might have faced, or anything such as that along the way?
I just think about the bigger picture and the joy it makes me feel when I actually done it. It's like, wow. Or when a client sends back a review of like, I had one the other day, yes, they had the digital versions, but once the print arrived, she's like, how is it that it just looks so much better in print? It's just like this is why I do what I do. Like, I've given you something that is just irreplaceable. And it's just like concrete, like, yes, all right, let me keep going. This clearly is the route. You got to look out for the signs.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. No, you're speaking to myself. I'm with you, girl. I'm with you. And I think that's something that, you know, you guys tuned in. Definitely that's something to tap into, is believe in yourself, believe in your craft, and look at the little signs. And even sometimes when you're in doubt, keep going, and then you'll see these little alley-oops. It's like the universe and God just starts, okay, they see you putting in your 100%, so they're throwing you in extra tens every now and then to have opportunities open up for you. So definitely, I'm definitely feel you on that. And transitioning now from, you're 19, you've loved photography, you then went ahead and took it up as a career, self-employed. So you let go of your full-time job or your part-time job or whatever it has, and you said, right, I'm going ahead now to be a photographer and this is my craft. What did that look like in terms of setting up Mellz Photography as a business? What was the logistics? What did you have to do to make that possible?
Do you know what? When I actually think about it, it was very easy. When I think about it, it was very easy. Yeah, in the sense of, oh my God, I registered my company with Company's House. And it was like, the next day I had a certificate with my company number, and I was like, oh
wow.
Okay. Great. So where do we go from here?
Where did you get that knowledge? So there's a lot of people who maybe they love photography or they might have a business, whatever it might be, and through lack of education, they don't actually know that, oh, I need to go and register my company now with Company's House. So where did you get that information? Who helped you or schooled you to know that, right, if you're doing this self-employed, you need to be registered? How did you get information?
At that time, it was a friendship group that was in, and I was like, they registered their company, and it was just like very like, it was all like very driven and mindset. So it was in that crowd that allowed me to, you know, have the knowledge of, you know, when you register your account, you get a free free business account with that as well, and all those kind of little stuff. But even when I think about it now, there's so much times I thought, wow, I kind of jumped in without even reading into it more. And when I first started, maybe I would have even gone as self-employed first before I even registered as a limited company.
Right.
Do you get what I mean? Because there's so much more weight on you as a limited company, just the simple things of how you file your tax return and kind of things. Whereas if I started as self-employed, maybe I would have had more understanding.
The difference between self-employed and a limited company, now correct me if I'm wrong, if you are registered as self-employed and you're delivering a service or basically something goes wrong, you are specifically liable for whether it's losses, damages. If somebody needs to go to court, it's you. If something's bankrupt, it's you. Whereas if you register as a limited company, it's basically a separate entity, and something happens, you're suing the company, or somebody goes bankrupt, it's the company that goes bankrupt. So
exactly, it's not you personally.
Yourself by registering as a limited company as opposed to just self-employed, right? That's a gem for you guys. Okay, so that's because even little things like that, I just have learned things and picked up things along the way. And that's why I think the beauty of these sort of conversations is just hearing and learning, because school doesn't teach you what a limited, unless you go to university and study business or something, which obviously a lot of us haven't done. So school doesn't necessarily teach you the difference between limited company, self-employed, filing taxes, all of these things. So that's something you've managed to help us with here today as well, actually. In terms of mistakes or learning the hard way, let us in. What can you share? What can you say? Do you know what? If you're about to do this, just know this.
Listen, you see when you're filing those returns, One, don't be like me and wait till your tax year's done, and then you try and collect all your bank statements and try and do all your spreadsheet to see how much. Don't be like me. Do it monthly. so you have it. Yeah.
Make sure you guys write this down.
Don't file last minute. I give myself heart palpitations and panic attacks because I leave things to last minute. Because at the end of the day, it is me one by myself. I do everything. So it's kind of like learning about that organization and like, you know, okay, for example, Monday is the day for like Monday's admin day, for example. You know, that's when you're making sure you're emailing all your clients, getting back to those from the weekend. If there's any invoices for you to chase up, that's the day you kind of like chase them and stuff like that. Yeah, I would say definitely tax returns. I've paid fines. Like fines.
There are penalties, so you don't file your taxes on time or whatever it may be. What does that look like? Is that a letter in the post that says, "Hey girl"?
Yeah, that's letter in post that you owe hundreds.
Right. Okay.
Compared to if you're self-employed, I feel like it's just like, oh, if you file late, it's like an £100 fine or something like that. I can't remember. But being a limited company, they treat you as if you're a big dog.
Right. Okay.
And that's it.
Right.
It's very much that simple. Do you know what I mean? Like get yourself an accountant for real.
More stability as a limited company than as self-employed.
Yeah.
What would you say the main benefits are to being a limited company as opposed to just, apart from the protection element of it, are there any other benefits or, you know, this is not an advice basis, by the way, guys. This is just lessons learned. But are there any other benefits you would say, or advice, so to speak, to anyone watching who might think, should I register as a limited company or should I register as self-employed, that you've experienced personally?
With a limited company, some people see you more trusting. Because obviously you have a company number and things like that. As well as a limited company, if you need to, you know, say you want to open a shop and you need to get a loan out, all those kind of things, it's more than likely that, you know, you'll be able to get that through the limited company. And just little things like that, it's just kind of seen as more trustworthy rather than someone who's self-employed. Because sometimes people can say they're self-employed, but they're not registered as a self-employed.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So you don't know who's
how official,
quote unquote, legit or not. Yeah. So say for example, I don't know, provided a terrible service. If I wasn't a registered company, or wasn't signed as a self-employed, I might not handle certain situations properly because it's just me compared to when it's your whole company. I treat myself as if I am like a full legit big dog company. Like I've got time to, in my terms and conditions, I have a whole complaint procedure. Got the whole process.
Yeah.
I think people just is more trustworthy.
Yeah, and I feel like that shows, especially on the customer point of view. It shows if you're able to present those things to a client or a customer. I guess you're right. It's the trustworthy element of it to say, right, okay, it also speaks to you as an individual. Actually, she's taken her time to register as a company and put together these terms and conditions and all of these things.
Yeah. So, because I have my insurance and everything, like public liability insurance, all those things that obviously you can only get if you're a limited company or if you're actually like self-employed and you have to put your reference number and all those kind of stuff. So yeah, you got that as well.
Even that, so public liabilities insurance and all of the logistics that you needed to do to make sure you were above board, was it also your group of friends or the people you were around that assisted you with that as well, or were you able to gain that information from somewhere which is open for people to check that website or whatever it might be?
For me, it's when I had a photography mentor in the end. So she obviously helped me with those stuff and understanding that. So it's all, you know, if you want to be something, see if you can be connected with someone who's already in the industry and see, you know, ways that they can help you progress. in knowing about all the insurance stuff like that. And also, Google is your best friend.
Yeah.
There is so much stuff there that some things we just bypass and don't think about. It's literally there. There's blogs about photography insurance. There's everything there. But sometimes, like, even if I shoot a wedding, if I go to a hotel or a venue, we have to show our public and liability insurance.
Right.
Just if you want to plug in our charger.
Yeah. Wow.
Some big things like that.
Right. And so you touched on a mentor. Mentors are I'm a big believer in mentors, but they're highly disputed, so to speak. You've got like on one side, you don't need a mentor, you don't need to have anyone to help you or give you that push, just get up and go. Or then there's the other side of, mentors are really helpful, like you just explained. They teach you things, and even just learning, like doing internships or having mentors, you just learn little things along the way. How important would you say having a mentor is, or having someone accessible who's done what you are trying to do is?
It's definitely important because it allows you to, well then, hold on. Some people don't necessarily even have a mentor in the field that they want to do. So sometimes it's not necessarily for me the same field, but obviously it benefits you on a bigger scale because you can now see what you can become. Yeah. And what you can do with your career.
More like an inspiration. So they're not even just a mentor, they're more of an inspiration as well.
Yeah. Even in the sense of a life coach and just building you up as a person. And building up those strengths and going through certain scenarios in life. And how you handle stuff. So I feel like a mentor, it's like overall as like a whole big picture.
So big believer in mentors then?
Yes. Yes.
I'm the same. So you were saying you're a one-man band basically. So you have to prioritize, and Monday might be accounting day and Tuesday might be getting back to emails, etc. How do you stay zoned in on the task at hand? Because when you're a one-man band, you might be in the middle of your accounting, but then you have an inquiry through for a booking, and then maybe a call from the job you had over the weekend. How do you stay grounded? Like, what did you have to put in place, or do you still struggle with staying grounded on the task at hand?
It's hard. Like, you're never ever perfect. You have one week and you're like, yeah, I'm killing it. Like, wow, damn. And then you have some weeks where you're just like, I'm tired.
Is it for me?
Especially if I've done sessions back to back from the weekend, or was it last year or maybe the year before? I had like 2 weddings in one weekend.
Wow.
Come Monday, emails was out the window. I was sleeping. Like, I was tired.
And they're long days. Weddings are long days. Is it like,
they are long days.
I've done an internship in wedding planning and events last year, and literally there was one wedding. It was about an 18-hour day that we had worked on that wedding. And it wasn't even in London. It was in Southwold or something.
So it doesn't even calculate the time you leaving?
Well, no, we stayed in Southwold.
Oh, okay. See, even that, you have to prepare yourself for both from the night before. So that then cuts out a big chunk of your time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think like it's structure. Like, I started to, after a while, it's like, you get to the stage where you're just like, okay, have I got no email yet? Refresh the page. No, I haven't got one. Okay, have I got email yet? Refresh the page. I had to get myself to a stage where it's like, okay, at 7 o'clock every night or 10 o'clock in the morning, I check my emails. I reply to what I reply to. Because sometimes emails can take up so much of your time.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
So then from like 10, I'll allocate time, 10 to 12, that's when I'm doing my emails. And then I have my lunch, just like a normal structured day. Then I might go and start doing some of my editing. Yeah. Then I have phone consultations booked in between those times. And then at 7 o'clock, my last, or even before 7, 6, my last chunk of emails, then I'll be done for the day. I only ever really work night if I've just got so much sessions to edit. But do try to keep some kind of structure.
Yeah, okay. And you were speaking about having the right circle around you in terms of they were able to educate you, which is great. How would you say, Well, I guess you were doing photography as a side hustle anyway, so maybe they were used to you not being able to come out on the weekend because you've got a job to do or something of that sort. But how would you say moving into full-time entrepreneurialism, I hope that's the word. How would you say moving into being an entrepreneur full-time affected your relationships, friendships, whatever it may be? Do you have children, motherhood?
No, yeah.
No? Okay, so in terms of relationships, friendships, how would you say being a full-time entrepreneur has affected that in terms of, one, the mindset that maybe some of your friends might not have the same mindset as you, or just not being able to see them as often and things like that? How would you say that's affected your personal life?
I feel like those who never had the same mindset of me are no longer my friends.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Those who, you have to have friends that truly understand you and know that I still love you. I'm still with you, even though I can't be there 24/7 or be on the phone 24/7. But they know that they can call me and be like, Jem, Mellz, da da da, and I'll be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I've got, like I said at the beginning, if I don't work, I don't get my money. So I can't run off with you to have fun.
Bills need to be paid, lights have to be kept on.
Yeah, exactly. Like I will still go out, but I know how my body works. And I know, okay, by a certain time I need to I gotta go to bed. I have that, had like 4 hours sleep before a shoot, but I know in the sense of the kind of shoot is I can handle, I'm awake, I'm well, I'm good. But when I know there's certain shoots, like no, I need to sleep good. So I can't really come out. I got this half birthday celebration because I got work.
So prioritizing and sacrificing, would you say you had to make a lot of sacrifices on the road to becoming an entrepreneur?
Oh yeah. They came to the stage, it was like nails out the window, hairdresser appointments out the window. Because when I first started, when I was pricing myself, I didn't price myself properly. You get what I'm saying? With that structure, we've been having this conversation the last couple of weeks with my family, my friends, in the sense of we never got told how much you need to, aim to earn 25 grand for the year, aim to earn 35 grand for the year. So when you're just putting price on these stuff, you're not thinking about the logistics of it, of, okay, I've got to make a living off of this. How am I pricing it? To know. So because I never did that, I had to make so much sacrifices because I was making peanuts. Like getting money in your account is great, but if it's not substantial enough, then you're like, oh yeah, this is great, but I want to go on holiday. I want to do all these things. So if someone else can work a 9 to 5 and earn 35 grand a year, why can't I just work for myself?
Exactly, yeah. And that's the mindset. And then strategically chopping that up to figure out how you do it. Because, okay, great, I want to earn 35k for the year off of my photography. But you can't just say, I want to earn 35k for the year in Jan, book random jobs and do what you want to do until December and then just see, did I do it? You need to be like, right, this is what I have to charge. This is how many jobs I need to run. Right. And in saying that, bookings, how did you go about building your client database? How did you go about putting your brand out there as like, right, Mellz Photography, this is what we do, this is what we offer? What sort of avenue in terms of advertising did you go down to build a successful business, so to speak?
So for me, I come from a big family. So anytime someone was pregnant, anytime someone had a baby, literally it was just like, all right, yes, so I need you. And I put my portfolio. So then things started going out of word of mouth. And when I first started, Instagram wasn't even popping how it's popping now. I was doing like market stalls and I had my work presented up. I was posting leaflet through doors. What else was I doing? I was even like volunteering myself for certain jobs that I know would get me the exposure that I needed, that I wanted to get me that right clientele.
Yeah, okay.
So there was
that was clientele,
but it had to make sure that I needed to go in there and say, all right, yeah, okay, you're doing this for free, but what is it you're trying to gain from it? And then be able to build that from there.
just going to say, what did that entail in terms of, was that assisting another maybe more established photographer on a job, or what opportunities did you seek out to expose yourself to that crowd?
I just applied for stuff.
Okay, so it was just jobs online and things like that.
Yeah,
Right.
and not necessarily jobs online, because I had a mentor when I was in university, and he kind of exposed me to a photography world that I didn't know I could be a part of. Yeah, in the sense of, you know, owning your own studio space and all those kind of, I was like, okay, this is all doable. Okay, I can sell pictures to clients. Okay. I didn't know I could actually do that stuff. Do you know what I mean? So it was putting myself in certain positions
to learn.
Yeah, and if I had an idea, let me execute that idea. Okay, I've got an idea for a 6-month baby shoot. Okay, let me see who's got a 6-month-old baby. Let me put that shoot together. Now I'm gonna, okay, I'm ready. I know that I can deliver. Remember saying me putting a price on something, I need to know that I can deliver it. Okay, now I'm gonna put it out there for promo. And then everyone comes booking in.
Right, okay, cool. So photography's always been your passion, and you actually have taken your love for photography and your business and created a platform, UKBFTOG.
Yes, you got it right.
Yes. Tell us about UKBFTOG.
So basically, being in the photography industry, I realized I was just dominated by white people. And I was like, Black people are creative. Where are they? Do you know what I mean? So then I literally just had a little outburst on social media, as everybody does. And I was just like, I knew at the time I actually knew 3. And I was like, but no, there must be, I knew 3 Black female photographers. And I thought, wow, there must be more. So I've done that. I put a social media on Twitter, I think I did first, Twitter. And I was just like, I know I'm not the only UK Black female photographer. Where is everybody? Let me know your names, at whatever. And it literally, it just blew. And there was all these mentions, and I thought, okay, let me put on Instagram. And then I did that. And then people was DMing me saying, oh, I can't wait to see what you've got planned. And I was like, I didn't have anything planned. I just wanted to know where everybody was. And then literally, UKBFTOG was born. I was like, okay, what am I going to do now? So yeah, it's literally been born from then. Our Facebook group has over 240 women in it at the moment. So yeah.
It's like a virtual community. Do you do events in line with that as well? Or?
We do meetups and do photography meetups, do studio meetups, we do, oh my God, you know, when you work in a 9 to 5, you know, you get a Christmas party and it's all good. Now we have our own Christmas parties. And
amazing.
So yeah, we get to do fun stuff like that. What else do we do? Oh, we do everything. Yeah, we just enjoy each other, hang out, Facebook group. We just use it to kind of like, if you've got any questions as well, because so many of us are at different levels, so we're able to help each other and be like, oh, hey, try and do this, try and do that. Have you looked into this? You know, what software do you guys use to like help run your business, like all your workflow? Here's this that we know about. Do you know what I mean? And stuff like that. Even like last year, we had a vision board party because it's like, let's try and get everybody ready for 2020, even though we weren't expecting COVID, but hey ho, it is what it is.
2020 came in like, they dragged the door open. What up? But it's been lessons. This year, as crazy as it's been, the lessons, there's just been it's been a fruitful year. It's been a tough band-aid year, but fruitful at the same time. What I love about UKBFTOG is being an entrepreneur, especially self-employed, it can be very lonely. And building a community such as yours means that actually 240 people aren't lonely. They've got someone to pick up the phone to or someone to quickly message to ask. Even if also something, which sometimes is in regular 9 to 5s as well, people just don't get it. You might have something that happens stressful at your job, but people don't get it. You'll be like, oh, such and such happened. And they're like, oh, really? But they can't relate. So having your community, you can say, oh, a client, something, another, or this fell through or whatever it might be, and they will get it. And I think that's really powerful. So no, well done to you building that actually. Let me have a look at these comments. and see if we've got any questions. Guys, if you have any questions for Jemella, chuck them in for us. Jemella, we've got ATL in the house. We've got Kent in the house.
Oh, wow.
We've got Manchester in the house. We've got
Hey.
South London and Croydon. We've got everyone ready for this information.
Nice.
Have people laughing. I don't know what that was for. Crucial information. Yes, we've got Love Strucks. They're loving you. Believing in your own product. Yes. Yes to being your own cheerleader. Self-belief is key. You're speaking to the people, Jemella. They are resigning. Okay, great to know. Love Struck faces. Are there any fees to register as a limited company?
Yes. It depends on the package that you choose as well. So I think I might have paid £15 to £30 to do mine. It wasn't something like outrageous.
Like a token fee, more so.
Yeah, yeah. And obviously, if you pay more, then you get other benefits. Someone will like, oh, you have like £300 of Google ads and all those kind of, there's just different stuff that you can like add on.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So I hope that answers your question. Motivation of the mind. We've got people agreeing with you in here. Structure is defo key. Yes, thumbs up. What about fitting in social media in that structure? That must be your day-to-day structure, because social media is so time-consuming.
Social media is his own full-time job.
Play. Like their algorithm and the fact that they want you to like be a Siamese twin with their app is insane. So what advice can you give people to stay alive on social media but still manage to get the job done, get the work done, the admin, the bookings, the follow-ups? How, obviously we spoke about structure, but is there anything in particular that you might be implementing, or any even problems you faced in the past where actually this is what I'm going to do to keep my social media alive?
Yeah, so with social media, I try to plan it like, okay, so I have structures for certain days of what I post. So whether it's a post about me, it's a post about my services, behind the scenes, just different subjects on different days. And I try to do like every Sunday. I kind of create my structure of what I'm gonna post. There's apps out there that can help you like later, Planoly. Yeah, there's another one. I feel like it's got something. I can't remember. There is another one, but yeah, I try to kind of structure it. So I will plan out my Instagram posts already. Right. So then I know, okay, at this time Thursday at 1 o'clock, this time Tuesday at 10, etc., etc. I know when I'm going to post like that.
So that's it done. So block out some time, maybe block out 2 or 3 hours to create content, plan it, even the drafts. I know someone I know doesn't have a draft on Instagram, but I have a draft. So
yeah, you can draft on Instagram.
Instagram is funny though. Like even from your business page to your personal page, things are just different. The story setup's different. Things just look different. I don't know if it's just me, but anyway. So that's the advice. Carve out maybe a couple of hours in a day to plan your content. Pop it in the drafts or pop it in an assistant app. And then that way it will take you 2 minutes to post and you go back to your business. Also, interacting is really important. You need I always interact with people. An hour at least a day to keep yourself out there. One, and it needs to be like genuine. Don't just go and just do something crazy. Genuinely interact with brands, and Instagram will also favoritize, I guess, your profile on that.
Yeah, it's not even just interacting with brands as well, interacting with your potential clients as well. Do you know what I mean? Like whether it's you're interacting with their Insta story, whether it is you are liking their post and you're genuinely commenting on whether what that caption's about or what that picture is about, and just being true to yourself. And obviously showing who you are, because that's what everyone falls in love with at the end of the day, is you being you. And not this fake facade. I never used to actually even show myself on my Mellz photography Instagram. It literally, like, you didn't know what I looked like. Like, I would turn up and be like, oh, you're a black girl. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I never used to show myself, but then I feel like once I kind of like really show people who I am and told my story, people got into it even more.
People by people.
Yes.
And I think that's more important now than ever before, because there is the market is saturated in more or less everything. So what differentiates you from your competitors, so to speak, is you. You know, not only sometimes what you're offering, there's thousands, at least 241 photographers out there. So what differentiates you is you. So again, I guess with social media and advice, be present, be authentic.
Yeah. There's definitely times where I'm just like not even present on social media. Like you have your times when you kind of like you're shut down. Like COVID, having COVID right now, us being locked down. I haven't been on social media really that much with my Mellz photography, but I've been behind the scenes working. So there's a difference.
Well, I mean, I guess it was lights out for photography during COVID anyway, because everybody's inside. So not even how did that affect. But would you say then UKBFTOG was quite nice to have then during COVID, that you could all confide in each other and different, right?
Definitely, because like we actually created an aftermath group. So it was like a WhatsApp group. We have video calls like every 4 days. Amazing. Checking on each other, setting goals, so kind of getting ready for when COVID is over. How are we gonna like what we're preparing ourselves? All right, guys, what even just us having COVID-19 policies now, it's like little things like that. Okay, guys, have you got this in place? Have you got this in place? And then motivating each other to keep going, because even though we can't get out and photograph people, there's actually other stuff that we need to do behind the scenes. And, you know, there was so much business stuff that I never got to do because I was just like one thing after the other. So now with that, it was like, well, I had time to stop. I had time to think. I had time to go through everything and just build my business back up again to the standard that I want it to be for when we come out. So yeah,
with you there. So that was being Eric's. I hope that answered your question. We've got people saying 100 claps, thumbs up. They're all agreeing with you. Learning how to pay yourself every 6 months. What advice can you give about learning how to pay yourself?
That's the one thing I never did. I'll tell you that much. At the beginning, I wasn't necessarily like, it was, okay, oh, how do you, okay. There was no kind of like processes. I never had no breakdown till I really got my business head on and was like, okay, how much do I want to make a year? How much do I need to cover my cost of business? How many sessions can I do within a year? How much do I pay myself from each of those sessions to guarantee me that I'm going to have that salary that I want by the end of the year?
Because when you have a limited company, the payments that you receive are the company's money, right? And then you need to pay yourself as an employee. So you're technically an employee of your company, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And would you say you had to take a hit in the beginning? Like, you know, I know sometimes with startups especially, they go a year or 2 years without even being able to pay themselves just for building a business and things like that. What advice or even like a push to people who might be going through that now? What would you say?
Yeah, you definitely take hits, but you don't take those hits when you actually plan yourself financially properly. Like if you kind of like really like break it down, okay, how much am I getting paid from this? Like I will put that money aside so I know by the end of the month, I know where I am by the end of the month of how much money I'm going to be paying myself. Do you know what I mean? Just little things like that and just really building that structure. Like, what more do I need to do?
Strategize, right? Okay.
Yeah, have your strategy. Like sometimes when I was playing my strategies with my partner, he's just like, and I'm like, well, I understand you. I know how much. Yeah.
Okay, so I hope that helps, Miss Jackson. We got claps, hands up. The people are feeling you, Jemella. Your ad got me here, and I missed the first half. Are you saving the lives? The live will be well. We're glad you're with us now. The video will be available on YouTube within sort of 48 hours from this live, so you will be able to catch it on the rebound. Love the community. We love you too. Or maybe they talk about your community.
Maybe who was it from? Who said it?
Visuals by Lollycoms.
Yeah.
Great. So you got the cosigns there. I missed what she said about the entrepreneur. Again, you can catch it on YouTube. Someone else missed the first few minutes in case you've already said, but were you employed when you first began your business? So Jemella started photography as a side hustle and graduated into, what was the day you said to your manager, here's my notice, I'm going to
I never, because I thought when I left my last, what was the last job I even had? When I actually registered my company, I wasn't necessarily working for anyone like that, where I was committed to doing like an hourly 9 to 5. I was freelancing.
So you had the freedom to just say, actually, now I'm going to focus. Like, you were doing your thing, and then you said, no, you know what? I'm going to focus, zone in, and do this entrepreneurialism properly. Yeah.
And like I said, because I personally never had no financial commitments, I could just jump in.
That freedom,
Yeah. I was obviously doing freelance jobs on and off, but if someone has financial commitments, and you also want to start your business, you've got to work both of them at the same time at first. You've got to build that side hustle to that level that you can quit that job and know that your side hustle is overtaking that. You just literally have to put that work in, like hardcore. Obviously, I never had to do that, but that's one thing. Anytime someone comes to me like, I want to start this business, but I've got this job, I'm like, have you worked your side hustle to that level?
That's gonna
before you go and just like, obviously you can always jump, but then you have to make them bigger sacrifices.
I
had to make sacrifices me by myself.
Say that again, sorry.
I said I had to make certain sacrifices.
Right.
And that was just in the sense of personal, like being able to, you know, go and shop for clothes and, like I said, holidays, getting your nails done, your hair done.
Ordering takeout, you just cooking.
Basically just had to put money back into the business all the time. And again, it was pricing, because I wasn't pricing myself properly and giving myself good profit margins to be able to substantially finance myself.
And what would you say about self-investment or investing in your business? Because I know photography, cameras ain't cheap, the equipment ain't cheap, everything's not cheap. So what did that look like in terms of saying, do you know what, okay, I've got these funds, but I'm going to actually feed it and pour it into my business? What did you tell yourself to be able to do that? Because it's not easy to say, right, let me put all my money into this and I really don't know how it's going to turn out. So what did you tell yourself to be able to do that?
I got to be able to make it back.
Yeah.
If I'm buying that camera, I've got to be able to afford it. I know that I'm going to make it back by doing X amount of jobs. Like, I remember when I bought my first camera, I think I bought it with my student loan.
Right, okay.
And I got my first like proper like Canon camera. I was like, oh yeah, student loan, I'm living at home, I can get my camera with that. But anything after that was like, okay, can I make it back? Am I gonna have enough bookings to be able to, like, okay, you just spent $3,000 on the camera, like, or on a lens or whatever. Are you able to make that back?
Right, okay, cool. So know that you're gonna make it back. Have a plan.
Yeah.
Try any things. Someone said group.
But also don't be scared to invest as well.
Trust
me. There's some things you're not gonna see straight away. If you know deep down in your heart, and when you look at your papers, that okay, I can do this, and I'm gonna have that faith and believe in myself and put in that work. Don't make it go to waste. We'll buy stuff and it will just sit there.
Yeah.
And then collect the dust, and then there's no point.
Even sacrifices. Sometimes you might not live at home with your parents, so you had the luxury of living at home with your parents, so you didn't have to, you know, think too much about paying rent or whatever mortgage. Yeah. But maybe even moving back with your parents might have to be, or moving in with a flatmate or something might have to be an option if you really are serious about taking that leap and building something, because rent, mortgage, whatever it might be, bills are not cheap. And sometimes it feels like a step back if you need to move back in with your parents or move back in with a family member, but it's a short-term loss for a long-term gain. So
exactly,
I would say that. How did you grow your social media following? Was it purely consistency?
Yeah, definitely. The day I became consistent, I also think about the quality of the picture that I'm also putting out as well. To kind of, even like during lockdown, I just like done a clean up of my Instagram. Anything to do with writing, I removed, and all those kind of things. So having like, definitely consistency in personal social media. But like I said, you'll have those times to have your break.
Say that again, sorry.
You have your times where you have your break, and you won't necessarily post, and that's okay. Sometimes we need to like refresh because we just feel like a robot, like.
But just consistency and equality. I think personally, it's more important to have 9 photos on your Instagram that are top quality than 30 photos on your Instagram that are just thrown there. Like when someone comes and visits your page, that is your shop window. So you want to make sure that whatever your page looks like is inviting and a true reflection of what you're offering, basically. And then, consistency. We spoke about engagement. 2 seconds, sorry, because I thought it really dark in here. My apologies, live.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting dark as well. Let me switch on my light.
Okay. How do you plan your week/month to have a good work-life balance? Hey, for directors, how do you balance your work? How do you have a good work-life balance? How do you plan your days to have a good work-life balance?
Like I said, it's just like structure. If I wake up at a certain time, how much hours I'm going to spend on each thing that I'm doing, and get like, it's literally just structure.
Okay.
Doing things bit by bit, not killing myself, not beating myself up that I like, I wasn't able to complete something. Do you know what? Let me wait till I'm in that right state of mind. I try again tomorrow. Let's go. Because more than likely, when you're in the right state of mind as well, you get stuff done quicker.
More done, exactly. If you have 3 hours in a day, but your mind ain't right, you're not going to get nothing done. If you got an hour and a half with the right mind, you'll power through it all.
Yeah.
So it's about...
There was a stage at like I was getting up at like 5:30 in the morning. And I would bang out so much work by 10 o'clock because I felt like the whole world was sleeping.
Right. And the days feel so much longer. And you know what? I remember a few months ago, I done the same thing. I said, all successful people wake up at 5 a.m. Like, when pretty successful people, like they all wake up at 5:30. And it's just a mindset of getting up to just early bird catches the worm, read a book, meditate.
Yeah.
And that, you're right.
Yeah, it literally depends on you as a person. You as a person, and you have to see what works best for you and your body, how you like it, how you don't like it. Do you know what I mean? Like even something as simple as, like during lockdown, I gave myself a 30-day challenge. And in the morning I'd work out and I'll read a chapter of my book every day. Like I started to like create structure. That structure is completely different to what I used to do before. But sometimes when it gets old, it's like, okay, what can I do that's new?
Jazz it back up.
Yeah, to jazz it back up and get myself motivated again and back into it.
Cool. Right, we've got about just under 5 minutes. I'm going to try and power through these questions. What are your top tips for staying focused/motivated when working independently?
Remembering your purpose and your why.
Remember your why.
Yeah, to keep you going. Not beating myself up. Yeah.
Okay. Remember your why, people. There's a question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Do you plan to expand your business and have staff, etc.?
Yes, because I've come to realize I can't do it all by myself, and it's okay to have help.
It is.
It's about, we talk about it in the aftermath group all the time. It's about just working smart after a while, and you can't do everything. And when you have a team, there's certain people that will be stronger at certain things and they can get things done quicker than you, because you might not have the full, you might not think, you just might not think like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, definitely expanding, having staff, someone, just something as simple as someone just doing admin. Then I can focus on my setup designs and stuff like that.
I'm with you there. I'm definitely a big believer in, even sometimes you might think, oh, I don't want to pay for this person's service because I can just do it myself. But this is what they do. Like, that's what you
saying that you have to value other people for people to value you. Like when I buy from people, and if they tell me it's a price, I pay that price. Because I don't want someone coming to me and saying, oh no, that's too expensive. Right. So I'm gonna value you the same way I want someone to value me.
To value yourself, exactly. And it's, if you know you can't deliver, so you might be able to, like, you might be able to, I don't know, like bake your own bread if you go on YouTube and learn, but it's not going to taste like Warburton's. So, you know what I mean? There's a certain level of respect what the person is offering. You're going to be like, oh, I can do it myself. Why do you charge so much? But you've contacted me for my service. So this
and when you're paying for someone, you're paying for the talent. You're paying for the years of mastering their craft. You're paying for their time. You're paying for so much more than me just picking up my camera and just taking pictures. You're paying for way more.
You're not paying for the hour of my work. You're paying for the 10 years it took me to perfect it. Oh, we got a 2-minute countdown. Right. Someone said so organized, being real. Was self-doubt something you had to battle with? If so, what practical tips could you give to overcome self-doubt?
I battle with self-doubt all the time, and I have to remember myself and take ownership of who I am, what I do, and my purpose.
Amen. We got a lot of highs in here and thumbs up in here for you. And there was one more quick. What did you have to sacrifice? You kind of went over that earlier.
Yeah.
So I think that was fine. Jemella, it has been a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for all of this knowledge. Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, you are able to catch this on a rebound on YouTube. But just before we go, Jemella, if the people want to find you, where can they find you?
So you can find me at Mellz Photography Ltd. So that's MELLZ Photography the normal way, and then Ltd. Also follow at UKBFTOG. I've got a wedding Instagram now at Weddings with Mellz with a Z also. So yeah, and that's me.
Amazing. We got loads of people just giving you claps, talking about inspirational. They're thanking you. Clap. Thank you guys all for locking in. And again, you can catch this on a rebound on YouTube in a couple of days' time. And you can find Mel at all her socials.
Yes, and thanks for having me.
Say that again. Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure to have you. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you. So have a good evening, darling.
You too. Bye, guys.